If we have anything in common, you and I, it's probably that we both seek to have a more rich life. I'm not talking about necessarily piling up gold and being greedy, but I am talking about the richness of life that comes as a result of living life the best way possible. These rules are thoughts, which I adopted as beliefs, and I have tested them and honed them over time. They come straight from the pages of my journal and the laboratory of my life. 10 rules for living the rich writer's life. Rules that have served me well and will continue to do so in the future. I propose you try on these new beliefs and test for yourself to see if they will work for you. Rule number 1, know what you believe and why. Know your values and virtues. This is something that most of us take for granted. We think we know and we don't. Because none of us, I won't say absolutely none, but I'm going to say 99.9% of us did not decide on what we believe and why. We picked these up along the way from influences in our lives like our parents, our pastors, our teachers, friends, television, movies, magazines, social media. We piecemealed together this mongrel philosophy, as Ayn Rand called it, and it's a self-contradictory mass of anguish and anxiety that causes us to live in a constant state of fear and doubt. It's important you know what you believe and why you believe it, that you choose your beliefs, your values, your virtues. Rule number 2, keep promises to yourself and then to others. This rule I originally learned from Dr. Stephen Covey, who wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This was one of the principles that I learned that impacted me most from that book. And it was to have integrity, you must first keep promises to yourself. And the way he put it was, private victories precede public victories. Rule number 3, respect the value of time. My dad taught me early is on time and on time is late. What he meant was, if I'm supposed to be somewhere at 3 o'clock and I show up at 3, I'm late. 2:45 is early. And by the way, if you're that early, find a way to occupy yourself until 5 minutes before your appointment. Be 5 minutes early. Don't be 15 or 20 minutes early. That's also rude and inconsiderate. Just be courteous, but be on time, which is early. Rule number 4, feel your feelings, but don't wallow in them. What this means to you and I in today's very trauma and trigger sensitive world is we need to not suppress our feelings. That's not good for us. We know that because the body keeps the score. Your body will find a way to take the anxiety, the anger, the bitterness, the unforgiveness, the woundedness, the PTSD, and find a way to have it manifest as heart disease, diabetes, a host of other things, including anxiety and depression. So feel your feelings, but don't wallow in them. In other words, collateral benefit from your anxiety and your depression, that you stay anxious and depressed because then people will sympathize with you, will sit with you, will hold your hand, will tell you how sad your life is. That's not helpful either. Feel your feelings, don't wallow in them. Rule number 5, speak and write only when your words improve upon silence. Had to let that one sink in. We're halfway through the 10 rules, with 5 more coming in just a moment. Right now, I have an extra suggestion. If you haven't done this already, sign up for my free Daily Ray email newsletter. I'll send you daily emails with my weird copywriting tips, tools, and tactics that will bring you more traffic, more conversions, and more sales. Go to rayedwards.com and type in your best email address, the one where you actually get email, and get the Daily Ray. This is a newsletter we sell for $97 a month. You get 1 issue free just for joining my daily email list. There's no catch. rayedwards.com. Do it now. Rule number 6, don't worry, because when you worry, it's just like you are reading out loud the devil's affirmations. Affirmations are those things we repeat to ourselves to make ourselves believe something's going to happen a certain way, and so it does, or so goes the theory. If you are worrying, it's like you're taking the affirmation list of Satan and just repeating it out loud for him. Don't do that. Rule number 7 for leading a rich life. Motion precedes motivation. Motion leads emotion. Some people think that motivation is a mood that strikes you, a feeling that you get. That's sort of correct, but it's also mistaken. Most days, motivation strikes me when I drag my butt out of bed, shower, shave, put on nice clean clothes, come to the office and sit down at this desk. And guess what? I'm now motivated because I moved first. And if you're depressed or you're down or you're anxious or you're low energy or you're in a low vibe state, get up and go take a walk. Simplest and best advice I can give you. Go take a 30-minute brisk walk. Motion leads emotion. Motion precedes motivation. The number 8 rule for living the rich writer's life. Laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously or you become narcissistic. Also, don't only laugh at yourself or you become a clown. Rule number 9, live deep and don't miss the richness of life, distracted by the sparkling lures of the shallows. The shallows, social media, television, magazines at the grocery store, mindless shopping, mindless acquiring, mindless doing. Those are the shallows of life. The concept of living deep goes far back into history, all the way back to the Stoics and beyond. It's the advice of the philosophers, the advice of the sages and the saints, to be where you are, do what you're doing, and be present with those with whom you're physically present, and not being where you aren't, doing what you aren't, which is where most of us are these days. So stop that. Be where you are. Be here now, in the words of Baba Ram Das. Rule number 10, practice getting the satisfaction from the process, the productivity of slow craftsmanship. If you set your sights on publishing the book, on writing the $1 million sales letter, or any of those kinds of things, if those are your goals and that's where you think you're going to get your happiness and your fulfillment, you're going to be disappointed when you get there because it's not going to work. It's important to your sense of fulfillment that you get the fulfillment from the process of what you're doing, from the process of writing. I hear people say, I don't like writing, but I like to have written. Then you should not be a writer, my friend. You should enjoy what you're doing. Real purpose and satisfaction comes from a life where you are working toward a difficult but possible goal, and where you are doing that over time, and you're receiving the dopamine rewards from the pursuit reward system. You get rewarded for the pursuit of a goal. A lot of people think we get rewarded for achieving the goal, like we're hungry, so we eat some chocolate. I got dopamine, I achieved my goal. That's short-term consumatory reward. You want long-term progressive reward for working toward a worthwhile goal. As Earl Nightingale so wisely observed many years ago, the definition of success, of fulfillment, of a good life is the daily progress toward the achievement of worthwhile goals. And now, neuroscience backs that up. These rules that I have shared with you work for everybody, not only for those who identify themselves as professional writers. The fact is, while you may not be a professional writer, you should know how to write. And I believe you should write every day, because learning how to articulately express ourselves in the written word is the powerful foundation of almost every success story we know. You have not really thought about anything until you have crystallized your thoughts into a written document. The thinking process is not finished. My friend and mentor, Michael Hyatt, says, thoughts disentangle themselves while passing over the lips and through pencil tips. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. This is why writing is so important to each of us, not only to those who write sales copy or books. It's why I journal every single day. Writing and distilling our thoughts provides us with a clear compass and helps us keep on direction in life. A life worth living is worth recording, says Tony Robbins. I agree. So get yourself a journal and begin thinking through important things in life. Only do your thinking on paper in the journal, because you're not finished thinking until you write it down. Writing is the doing part of thinking. So after figuring out who you are, what you believe and why, your values, your rules, your vehicles, now you can get down to work writing out your code of conduct, how you're going to behave every day as a result of all that stuff, and what your personal creed of life is. So here's my personal creed. I read this to myself every day, part of my declarations in the mornings. I keep myself physically strong, mentally awake and morally centered, that all may prosper. I seek to do right to all and wrong to none. I place the best possible interpretation on the actions of others and lend my assistance as I'm able to those who need it. I take what comes with a smile, filled with courage, fueled by joy. I ignore all negative facts that I can do nothing to change. I actively seek the positive outcomes such facts or circumstances make possible through the intentional management of my thoughts and actions. All day long and without ceasing, I'm asking, how can I become even more aware of God's presence, love, and guidance inside me and around me right now? That's my personal creed. And out of that grew my code of conduct. So here's Ray's code of conduct. 1, I act in a manner that is cheerful, polite, friendly, and courteous. 2, I take 100% ownership of my emotional state and my response to the events of life. 3, I follow my current evening and morning success rituals consistently. 4, I progress daily toward the achievement of worthy goals. 5, I engage in physical exercise every day. 6, I eat food, not too much, mostly plants, no sugar or flour. 7, I don't drink alcohol or use other intoxicants to buffer my feelings. 8, I embody the virtues of courage, justice, discipline, and wisdom. Imagine what your life will be like when you embody these aspirational ideals. What sort of life is available to you, or possible for you, or possible for the person who is like the one we just described? These are aspirational for me. It doesn't mean I've arrived and achieved all those things, but that's what I'm working toward. Now, if you like this stuff, you're going to love my monthly coaching program. In our monthly coaching program, we don't just study marketing and business growth. We pull back the curtain and show you what we're doing in my business and in the businesses of our world-class clients. And we share the best practices, templates, and marketing methods that have brought us over $500 million in sales. Every month, you can get coached by me and my certified coaches. We don't just hand you the templates, funnels, and methods, although we do that. We also show you what to do in your market or niche and for your product or services so you can make more money with less risk and more profits. Check it out right now at thisismarketingschool.com. Next episode, I'll be sharing the rich writer's secret for creating the life of your dreams. Make sure you catch that episode. We publish this podcast as both video and audio, and you can subscribe for free to both versions. Just go to rayedwards.com/subscribe. Until next time, God bless you and your house. Live long and prosper with purpose.